Hi there, Ken Hill here. Welcome back to another episode of Guns, Gear, and Freedom. We are here in the GGNF studio today, and I am in the process of working up or developing a new reloading recipe for my Remington 700 chambered in .308 Winchester. Some of the components that I will be using to work up my reloading recipe today include the 150 grain Hornady BTSP projectile, Varget smokeless rifle powder, as well as some CCI number 200 large rifle primers to work up a reloading recipe for this rifle. I figured that a good source of information and the best place to start for this process is to delve into my Lyman 50th anniversary reloading manual in order to help us figure out the safest recommended range of powder charges to push our bullets downrange. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the minimum and maximum powder charges recommended in the manual that we can use to work up this reloading recipe. It looks like for the 150 grain jacketed SP round, they are recommending 2.735 inches of overall length. And now all we have to do is go down and find the powder that we intend to use. And since we're going to use Varget, we'll just kind of look down through here until we find it. It's right there. And it looks like the suggested starting grains for Varget is going to be 42.5 grains, pushing our bullet at a velocity of 2,632 feet per second. And the pressure is going to be 42,200. And it looks like we can go with the maximum load grain of 47, giving us a pressure of to do 59,900, but it also gives us 2,874 feet per second velocity. The ballistics coefficient on the bullet is 0.338 and standard deviation of 0.226. Hey guys, I'm over here at the reloading bench and I'm going to go ahead and begin working up my loads. I'm going to do 5 rounds per batch, and each batch is going to increase by half a grain of powder. I will weigh these out with a basically digital scale and a powder trickler. I'll trickle just a little bit of powder into the scale at a time until I reach exactly the desired weights that I'm wanting to achieve, and then I'll dump that powder into the cases, and then I will be seating these bullets. After that, we're going to seat them at 2.735 case overall length, or COAL, and they should be alright according to the book, but we're still going to have to take them out to the range and test them. The goal here is to find out what powder charges produce the tightest groupings, and then we can come back here and fine-tune our powder charges once we gather the data from our initial testing out at the range.
These ones aren't grouping so good already. I don't like these groupings. They're not even an MOA. We're like 3 MOA right now.
Oh, for the second one?
Yeah, it's all over with this 42.5. I don't like that at all. 42.5 grains so far is not so good. Alright, so that was 42.5 grains. Pretty much all over the page. I'm not real impressed by 42.5 grain, but we're gonna go ahead and continue to test 42.5. Since that's done, we'll do 43 grains, then 43.5, 44, 44.5, on up to 47 in half grain increments and see how our groups are. All right, now we're gonna try 43.5 grain. So far, the first two 5-shot groups kind of spread out. It seemed like the second group tightened up a little bit with the 43 grain versus the 42.5. Now we're gonna go to 43.5. I imagine it'll tighten up. I'm letting the barrel cool in between 5 shots. Normally, it would be a good idea to let your barrel cool between every shot. The barrel's usually cooling off about 5 to 10 minutes between 5-shot groups. And it does actually change the harmonics and the point of impact if you don't let things cool down, but I'm kind of just doing 5-shot groups as if I were being out of the range just to sling and lead and see how tight they group. And then I'll refine that load once I figure out one that groups fairly tight. I'll refine it even further and get it as tight as we can. All right, these are 43.5 grain going in now. Glasses are starting to fog up on me a little bit. By the way, if anybody has any suggestions on shooting glasses that don't fog up, drop a comment in the comments section. I'm very curious what you guys are running out there. Yeah, these things are fogging up super bad. Normally I don't advise not wearing eye protection, but I cannot even begin to see with these things fogging up like that, so unfortunately I'm gonna have to shoot without them. Maybe, let's see here. That was the 5th one on the 46 grains. We'll let it cool. I'm gonna have to go up and switch 2 of the targets out. I ran out of target space for the last 2 groups, but we're gonna take the camera up there and we're gonna check these targets out that are already there and swap 2 of them out, shoot the last 2 groups, and see what the best groups are. All right, we better let this barrel cool off. We'll see you up there at the targets. Okay guys, we're up here at the targets and we started out at 42.5 grains, and that's the grouping we got out of the 42.5 grain. Then we went to a 43 grain target, and here's our groups for that. Had 100 yards, and then 43.5 seemed to tighten up. I think so far I like that one a little bit. I'm gonna have to refine it. But that was 43.5 grain. Then we went to 44 grains. It looked like it opened back up a little bit at 44. And then we got 44.5. We had a couple of shots that landed pretty close to each other and one that was a little bit off, but I don't really like that grouping due to the fact that it's so spread out. Even though two groups shot next to each other, they were spread out the way they are on the paper. And then we have a 45 grain grouping, 5-shot, which is widening out again, and moving on to the 45.5, pretty wide still, didn't really have that good a grouping. And then 46 grains is all over the place. So far out of these ones, I think that 43.5 grains seem to be pretty good, and so did the 43 grains. They were fairly okay, but that one seemed a little better. We're definitely gonna have to refine those loads, get some better groupings, maybe, hopefully, tighten them up. I'm hoping. But I am gonna shoot the 46 and a half and the 47 grain. I just have to swap out 2 of these targets real quick because I run out of room on the board here. And so we'll test them out, show them, and then we'll try to take the best grouping. So far it's looking like the 43 grain, the second one from the left, and the third one from the left look to be the best so far. All right, we'll see you back down at the rifle on the bench. Right here, last one on 46.5 grain. Oh man, 46.5 grain just looks spread out. Really spread out. Yikes, we're gonna let this cool off again. Then we'll shoot the 47s, but they're pretty spread out. So far the best ones were the first couple of batches at 43 and 43.5 grains of target. We're gonna have to dial them in from there, I have a feeling, but I'll see you here in a second for the 47 grain. All right guys, we're down here, 47 grains. We're gonna go through real quick, see how they do. I'm not expecting anything good out of them. The higher the grains, seems like they opened up quite a bit, so I expect these to be way opened. But let's give it a shot and make sure that the data matches my theory here. And let it go. 47 grains. Shot at the bottom of my breath just before I drew my next one. I think we'll go check that out and see where we're at, but I think they're kind of spread, so we'll go through real quick and take a look. Alright guys, we're up here at the targets again, and it looks like these have 46.5 grain. Here's the group. That one's not a bullet hole, it looks like one, but it's not. Basically these guys here, and 46 kind of spread out, or no, that's 46.5, sorry, 46.5 spread out. Went over to 47, weird results, but 2 of them actually look like they touched. Still spread way out though. I'm not really sure with these. I think the best ones so far out of all of them, after I get a caliper out to check, I think the 43 and the 43.5 grain is probably my best bet. And I should refine the load and bring out another batch in between 43 and 43.5 grains somewhere in there, and see if I can get them tighter. But so far 46.5 grain and 47, and that's the results from those.
Hi guys, welcome back to the studio. Thanks for joining me at the range today. I had a lot of fun. I found it pretty informative too. Now we know what loads work the best. After our 5-shot groups, we noticed that 43 grains to 43.5 grains actually grouped the best. Now, out of all of those targets, the 43 grain and the 43.5 grain, even though they did the best, we could probably refine that load even better, and we can load in quarter grain increments and maybe start at 42.75 grains and work up to maybe say 43.75 grains and kind of fine tune the powder in there somewhere and see if the groups tighten up. And I kind of think they will, but we're going to have to wait for another day to try that out, but I think that's what our data is showing. As always, thanks for watching my videos. Please like, subscribe to my channel, and share me around on social media like Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms if you have them. It really helps me get the word out that I produce videos like this, and it helps other enthusiasts find our videos and helps them out too. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Hi there, Ken Hill here. Welcome to another episode of Guns, Gear, and Freedom. We're here in the GGNF studio today to take a look at the Lyman Turbosonic 2500 Ultrasonic Cleaner.